Okay, and you, Paladin. Don't know how long you're going to be in my party because you're going to hate me for a while. Keep your persuasion up. And your world knowledge too. Oh, you get one more. Let's give you a little bit more mobility. So if you're, why would I give you mobility? Squeeze and tight spot. Rather you actually have athletics. Blind fight. Things in my way. In melee, every time you miss because of concealment, you can re-roll your miss chance percentile roll on one time to see if you actually hit. Invisible attacker gets no advantage related to hitting you in melee. Okay, that's going to be good later on. Combat reflexes. You mean that's dexterity. Extra lay on hands. I think I want her with improved initiative. Because I need her in front. I need her to go fast. So let's do improved initiative. Whenever the paladin uses lay on hands, heal damage to one target. The target is no longer fatigued. That could be really good. Let's do fatigued. It could be really good. Okay, switch back to your main weapon. So I'm gonna ask who he is. The Vine slowly takes your measure with his eyes and finally gently sighs. Gemel Hawks, vampire. Oh, he's a vampire. Are you really a vampire? Gemel gives you a look of reproach and then gradually says, no. How did you end up in the Crusader City? How did anyone end up here? How did you, or them? With a huge hand, the tavern keeper gestures the ragtag group assembled in the room. The world is big, but still there isn't a place for everyone. People who no longer have a life anywhere else, they end up here. Any news in the city? Demons are everywhere, and you showed up. Are there places in the city worth visiting? If you mean places the normal people usually stay well away from, then there's plenty. Like the Pitaxian wine cellar. Gemel pauses for effect. Like the name of the place alone should make you quiver. Pitaxian. Oh, it's the city. All right. It once belonged to Pitaxian Trading House. The King Eravati came to power in Pitax, and property started changing hands. Soon after, the seller's shop assistant was found in a ditch. Not all of them, mind you, just his head. That sucks. Numerian gangsters had taken possession of the place. They wanted to sell something stronger than wine on the street, and they ended up in the gallows. The King Eravati's number was up, so now the store stands empty and unclaimed. People say the headless ghost wanders the place at night, moaning ghoulishly. Not gonna ooh. Just don't ask me to make any noises with no head. I wasn't there. I just tell it like it is. Or tell it like I heard. Okay. I see you're not one for talking. Gemel gives you a long, mournful look and says nothing. I have to go. The tavern keeper sees you off with a subtle twitch of the pale eyebrows. Cool. So we have another side quest. What if Canabris isn't the only city overrun? What if this is how it all ends? I mean, that's a strong possibility. Sallyworth. A stout man, old man with fuzzy gray beard mumbles prayer. He looks as tired as everyone else in the tavern, but determination is stamped upon his haggard face. What can I do for you? Show me what scrolls you're selling. Gonna take a couple of these off of you, dear sir. I'd only have 7. Did I really spend all my money? Dang. I knew I bought a lot, but I didn't know I bought like all my money's worth. Well, this bag of holding was expensive. This bag of holding is non-dimensional space, regardless of what is put in the bag. Its weight doesn't change. This allows the pirate to carry additional 100 pounds of stuff. Yep. Okay. That's just vital for me. Okay. I should probably ask about this, dude. Wendu's tense stance reveals her constant vigilance. Her eyes are focused and resolute. Noticing you, she lets you speak first, bowing respectfully. Master, I'm at your service. I want to know more about you. The underground warrior looks flattered, raising her chin proudly. You can ask me anything. What do you think of life on the surface? I'm only going to go through a couple of these right now. I don't want to do all of them. Wendu scoffs arrogantly. Life among the uplanders, you mean? Your customs are strange. The huntress casts a glance at you and corrects herself quickly. I mean, they're not yours, master. You are strong and clever, but I look at others, uplander, and wonder. Have you seen how proud they are of their weakness? Look, my hands are soft, so soft. I've never done anything with them in entire life because noble blood runs through my veins. What does it matter whose someone's parents are? I'm the daughter of a former chief of the tribe, so what? Is this what the respect and fear for me? Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Is this what they respect and fear me for? Saul became the chief because he was old, experienced, and smart. After him, I might become the chief, because I am strong and even smarter. But these weaklings wouldn't have lasted a day in our caves. Everything is strange here, but it's alright, master. We'll put things right, won't we? Tell me about your life in the cave. Life was better than any uplander might think. You're surrounded by rocks on all sides. It's sturdy, dependable. When you hide in a crack and you know for sure you're safe, not like here, all this empty space around you. You always have to be on guard, in case an arrow flies from any direction and hits you. Life underground is calmer somehow. Sure, there's less food in the caves than here, but the amount of food the uplanders have, it's too much. Don't you see, master, how many fat uplanders there are? There are a lot. Why do you eat so much? Little cattle fattened up to make for tastier meat. We only had one fat person in our tribe, and that was Sol, and he was the only fat because he was old. But up here, everything just seems fair in the cave. When there's enough food for the weak, they die. The lazy die. The sick and the head of the body die. Only the strong and skilled survive, and the blood becomes thicker and tougher. Everything is clear to me now. Alright. That's it for now. Huntress gazes at you with devotion. Thank you for talking to me, master. We'll talk more later. Okay, so who are you? The Salireth Miss, a rector of the local temple of Abdabar. The temple is gone, though, and if we snooze here for much longer, the city will be lost as well. Who's the boy with you? This one? Kaido the Shepherd, my apprentice. He's a smart boy, and his faith is strong. He serves Aristil, though, but there's still something he can learn from an old servant of Abadar. He'll be a great cleric when he gets a little older. What kind of help can I expect from you? First, I sell scrolls. I have a lot of them. Something for every emergency. Second, while you're here in the town, I can read one for you. Guaranteed, no surprise. You'd better not go into the city without a cleric. I won't be going there myself. I'm too old, and my powers are needed here. I have to go. I am a cleric. Okay. Any success? How's the city? Okay. What is your main objective? You heard what the demon said. They're going to desecrate the Warstone and blow up the whole barrier around the World Wound. That would be an even worse disaster than the World Wound's expansion before... Okay, we kind of went over this. Not only Kennebar, but every city with a Warstone will be destroyed, including the capital. Yeah, we definitely went over this. I have to go. Okay.
Let's see what we can do.
Who's Jernah? A young man in a well-worn traveling cloth and a simple wooden symbol of Aerosol on his chest is efficiently cutting a linen robe into strips to use as bandages. Despite his visible exhaustion, he works with zeal, singing some tunes about red braids, ripe sheaves, and wheat under his breath. He raises his warm chestnut-colored eyes. Are you one of the Crusaders? Thank you for defending those of us who towns lay off the battlefield. I'm Jerno, servant of Aerosol. Pleased to meet you. So what are you doing here? I only took my holy order recently, so my god has only bestowed a little of his power upon me as yet. I'm sorry to say that the number of wounded fighters in the tavern is far beyond my power to heal, but there's a reason people say, have faith in the god, but look to yourself first. I may not be able to help the wounded with magic, but I can at least cut up bandages. Are you from around here? No, I was just passing through Kenabris. I was sailing down that old man of ours, the Great Selin River, to a village by the name of Chili Creek. I happened to land in the city on the eve of the festival, and I'm ashamed to say I decided to stay for a day to enjoy myself. But I ended up staying in the city longer than I had bargained for. Get more comfortable. Chili Creek, where's that? It's a small fishing village. It's not even marked on the maps, but people do live there. What they don't have is a priest. They have no one to heal their wounds, no one to offer prayers for a good catch, no one to give their dead a dignified burial, and the world wound is a stone's throw away. So I'll be setting sail for Chili Creek to serve my god and my people. Once we've held Kenabris, I'll be going there. If by the grace of God we will survive this, you should come and visit sometime. You'll find the village here on the banks of the river. The priest marks Chili Creek on your map. Before we get... Aren't you a young and experienced cleric, afraid to go to the border of the world wound? I won't lie, I am afraid. But what can I do? Those villagers are simple people, like you and me. Every day of their short lives is spent doing hard, honest work. That's exactly the kind of life I want. Something simple but meaningful. If I had centuries ahead of me, like elves and other races, I might have spared some 50 years or so to travel around the world, the young man says with a smile. Or maybe even 100, why not? But I don't have that time to spare, so I want to spend my short life in the place where I'm needed most, even if it's dangerous. Okay, I could use the help of a cleric. Aerosol knows I'd be glad to help you, but it's no use. My spells are depleted. I have no training in potions or scrolls. See this robe I'm cutting up for bandages? It's the second to the last one. Alright, I have to go. Aerosol will watch over you. I thought I was getting a new party member. Tall, fragile elf sits in front of you, eyes closed. He's pale as a ghost, his arms wrapped in blood-stained bandages. You spot other bandages on the body under his clothes, but even in such a miserable state, he managed to keep calm. Raising his eyes to meet you, he faintly says, I am Foreign Autumn Haze, at your service. His pale lips reddened by blood, but you see no signs of pain or fear in his gray eyes. Do you need help? After giving you a cold, intense look, why would I ask that? Whatever. Do not trouble yourself on my behalf. A local healer tends to me. Besides, I'm from a resilient, hardy people. My body will endure both wounds and the poison delivered through them. Who wounded you? A sinner and accomplice to demons. The quarry I'm hunting in this inhospitable place. I might be able to help you. It would be impolite to refuse such a direct offer. Who is this quarry here in Mendov? I was hunting a fugitive, a desperate by the name of Kalissa. It pains me to admit that there are heinous malefactors such as her among my noble kind. I managed to catch up to her in Canabris, and I wounded her. The demons appeared and the city was engulfed in flames. I was injured in the battle that ensued and couldn't free her soul from its service to her dark master. He expresses no anger or hatred as he speaks, only compassionate sorrow. Not that great of a hunter, it would seem. His expression remains indifferent, but his voice is as cold as mountain. Many underestimate the wisdom and experience that my people acquire over the centuries. I do hope that my opponent will misjudge me as you have. I'd wish to aid you in this hunt. Dang it. I thank you, but this is my mission. I'm used to facing all manners of terror on my own. I do appreciate your willingness to help. If you happen to meet Kilesa, take caution. She has turned many innocent souls to the path of evil, and darkness has rewarded her with many gifts. Her appearance alone will tell you that it is warped. The agate skin, the malicious stare of the blood-red eyes, the bestial teeth. She's more monster than elf at this point. What does she look like again? Failed. Damn. I didn't think I was gonna get that one. Her skin is dark, her hair paternally white, her red eyes can see perfect in the dark, which, to my dismay, I've come to know from experience. But bright light causes her kind pain. I used an alchemic powder that explodes in dazzling flash, and she cried out if I had stabbed her. Alright, I have to go. Good fortune to you. Okay, so another target. Servants. Anybody else with a name? Oh yeah, dude. Horgus. Where's my money? 1,000 gold coins for you, just as promised. You've helped me get back to the surface, and I duly paid for you for escorting me. Horgus Squirm always keeps his word. Now, speaking of fortune cooperation, I have a job that would be perfect for someone like you. Naturally, I'll pay generously for your service. So what kind of reward are we talking? 1,000 gold gems. Or gold coins. Dang. Where did I read gems? Horgus replies without hesitation. Double the reward and I'll think about it. Failed. Dang it. Ha, yeah, right. That kind of money I could hire Queen Galfrey herself to guard me. 1,000 is my final offer. Okay. So what does this job involve? You shall be my bodyguard, you see. I have good reason to return to my mansion here in Cannabis. I still have. Well, it doesn't matter. It's none of your business. My mansion is a breathtaking building with a large garden in the wealthy part of the city. Even before the demons attacked, every thief and fraudster in the city had tried to get inside, one way or another. I shudder to imagine the state it's in now. I have little hope that my guards were able to hold the mansion during the attack, and I expect the servant fled when they saw the demons. Only Abadar knows what happened there since. Therefore, I ask that you meet at my mansion and guard me there until I complete my business. I already asked the local paladins for help, but they have no desire to set foot outside the tavern. Damn cowards and traitors. That's what they are. Also, please do take Camellia with you. I trust the girl more than the rest of the gang. She is of noble birth after all. Alright. Deal. Marvelous. Most excellent. Horgus' face relaxes smoothly. A few of the tense lines. I'll proceed to my mansion at once and wait for you there. Meanwhile, you needn't worry. I know the city like the back of my hand. But do hurry, unless you want me to lower your ward. Jerk. Okay. And exit we will. Cool. But where are my homies? This place has been sanctified. It can protect the area around it from the corruption of the abyss. I assume when we leave the area, they'll come with me? Really don't need all those things. I'll take the route though.
Can't make the demons wait.
Wait. I didn't check the prices of everything. Let's be smart about this. See, like, doesn't weigh anything and it's worth money. Okay. It's to the basement. It's in the basement. Surrender thy soul, Delvin. Midian, protect us. Haha, got you again. How many times is that today? Take your jokes and shove them, tiefling. Oh, easy there, chief. Don't hit me. Mind me, I'm just looking around. I love how you guys are just like, do not care that I'm just stealing.
Beautiful.
Probably should quick save before like I loot everything in an area. Just in case they do care.
Let's see what we can do.
I don't know what that does. Let's delve in. Who is this?
Chief. Hey, Dreamboat, come over here. I want to talk to you about something. Something really important.
The young tiefling sits cross-legged on the floor. He looks relatively calm for someone in shackles, but his tail whips back and forth in agitation. Noticing your attention, the tiefling sits up and beckons you over.
Quit bothering the decent people in here, Woljif, or I'll knock your teeth out.
Woljif.
What's it to you, Delvin Dum-Dum? You were told to guard me, and I'm not stopping you. But no one told me I had to shut my trap.
Who are you?
Woljif. Woljif Jefto. I deal in useful things. I can get you whatever you want. Anything. But there's just one problem.
The tiefling rattles his chains and gives you a meaningful look. What do you want from me?
I'll lay it out for you. Simple job, 30 minutes tops.
Okay.
We go someplace, talk to someone, and in return, whatever you want, I'll get it for you. Some extra rations, no problem. Armor, weapons, scrolls, you name it. It's as good as yours. If you need my help with something, whistle and I'll be there. I'm handy enough with knives too, and even my magic know-how isn't too shabby.
What a load of guff. If you were good at magic, you wouldn't be stuck in here now, would you?
Don't you listen to him, Chief. He'd find fault with the Queen herself. I'll be useful to have in battle, and I'll sell whatever you want at a reasonable price. It's your lucky day. You won't meet another gem like me in Canabras.
Why are you in chains?
Does it really matter? Don't get hung up on the past, Chief. Don't look to the future. Live in the here and now.
He was caught thieving.
I can't help you while you're chained up. How can I free you?
That's easy. You know Irabeth? Feisty looking gal, always wears armor. You can't miss her. She's the meanest fighter in the whole city. When you see her, put in a good word for me, will ya? Tell her there's this guy, Woljif, locked up for no good reason in the Defender's Heart. Well, for the follies of his youth. And he really wants to get out on bail so he can keep up his good behavior and make a contribution to society. You got that? Will you do it?
Alright, I'll talk to Irabeth about your situation.
I knew I could count on you. Knew it the moment I laid eyes on you.
Your shadow, what was that?
Get me out of here and I'll tell you. And don't worry, it's not contagious.
We'll talk later. He seems like a new party member. I kind of want him. Oh, there's another person here with a name. Oh, it's Indar. Okay. Never mind. An opposing young Orid is surrounded by a crowd of crusaders who are hanging on to her every word. I hope this example clearly illustrates the difference between Jigsaw legionnaires from the last war and the Crusades. The perfection of form and spirit they were imbued with during creation turned them into parts of a well-balanced war machine. Not a ragtag bunch of individuals, but a united whole. Now tell me again, why am I supposed to be impressed by your reckless assault, where everyone is fighting for their ego and for the right to beat the peers to a swift but pointless heroic sacrifice? Some of the Crusaders grumble unhappily, but it is also clear that they are captivated by the woman's words. The only exception is a scraggly and disheveled halfling monk whose puffy black eyes give away as a brawler and a troublemaker. He enthusiastically pushes forward and tries to engage, but one of his friends swiftly jabs him in the back with an elbow, making the poor fellow pause to catch breath. Looks like we have ourselves a student of warfare. The woman gives you a suspicious look and raises an eyebrow. Were your words meant to recognize my achievements or to start a fight the way the Mendavian Crusaders usually do? One of the Crusaders angrily curls his fists tight and retorts with a burst of passion. If those chists of yours or whatever had come for us, we'd have the guts for the garters. You think we've never fought a mighty adversary before? The soldier's stern face facade cannot fully conceal his relish. He's clearly plans to enjoy this confrontation. The crusader around him look upon the exotic opponent with a mixture of irritation and piqued interest. The woman chuckles before cutting off their interlocutor. Okay. I would love to see you storm a 60-foot tall walking castle shaped like a giant elephant that carries siege fortification on its back. And I'll have you know these fortifications were defended by Justin priest craftsmen armed with demon-bound war machines. And Dara... Okay, they use the enemy you cannot defeat as mindless weapons. The woman gives the people around her a triumphant look and adjusts her clothes with a pointed nonchalance. Her voice takes on a lecture tone. You should not argue with someone who happens to be the most authoritative researcher on the history of warfare 3,000 years before the foundation of Absalom. The woman looks at you and flashes an amused smile. The lecture is over. Do my esteemed listeners have any questions? I almost want to do this. Who are you? I'm Indira, warrior, magus, and scholar of classical warfare from Garand. The woman peers at you apprehensively. I admit that I'm mildly offended by the fact that my name is entirely unfamiliar to you, but I'm willing to accept that this is due to Avistan's isolation from sophisticated culture of the world at large. You've come a long way to be here. I like to think of myself as an inhabitant of Golarion, and I narrowly identify with any country in particular. Why did you come here? To witness a legendary war, the confrontation between denizens of the plain famous for its love of violence and the crusaders from every continent united by the common goal of defending their home. An epic struggle of colossal proportions that hasn't been particularly epic so far, truth be told. The monk with the black eye grins and mutters under his breath. His name's Pink Eye. Great. Maybe she just can't see it from here. The view will get more epic if she stops hiding among us and takes a walk outside. The woman smirks contemptuously. She does not deem the monk's word worthy of comment. I disagree. The Crusaders are doing a commendable job at resisting the demons. Oh yes, and the situation we found ourselves in can attest to that. But then again, demons are no better. Their preferred strategy also involves brute strength, mindless assault, and unfounded confidence in their superiority. Why don't you join the Crusaders and show them how fighting should be done? No, I'm a historian, an analyst, and a theorist. Do you know what these words have in common? They describe a mortal woman who does not particularly participate in conflict upon which the thesis will be founded. But then again, I will hardly be able to describe the mess as anything other than a feeble likeness of the last war of Jitska. The more dangerous the upcoming scuffle is, the more motivated we are to find clever and pretty worse to justify not actually doing the fighting. The monk with a damaged eye grins slightly and comments. What is the last war that you mentioned? The last war of Jitska. Of course, a large-scale conflict that took place 3,000 years before the foundation of Absalom. It was a war against the Osiran Pharaoh of the Forgotten Plagues, the war that ended the legendary Jitska Empire. An epic struggle that became the most vibrant page in the military history. Alas, all conflicts that followed it were but a pale shadow, including the one I'm witnessing here. Why do you find the last war of Jitsa so inspiring? Imagine legions of golems imbued with extra-planar spirit marching into battle. Imagine flying cities that swoop out of the clouds like terrifying monstrous birds of prey to drop forces on top of enemy castles. Picture gigantic mechanisms powered by captive and very dangerous, very angry demons and devils. Imagine standing in the warpath of a walking citadel or having to cover your ears to block out the sound of cannons loaded with shrieking elementals. Finally, imagine the ultimate weapon that defeated Jitsa, the deadly night plague. This affliction was an attack dog, a trained epidemic, a tamed pestilence, striking only those who its master wanted killed. Imagine all those terrors and understand that no flight of fancy can even come close to the horror of the nightmares they made real. Why do you know so much about it? I can say without false modesty that there is no more authoritative researcher on Golarion when it comes to history of warfare 3,000 years before the foundation of Absalom. I've dedicated my whole life to this subject. I've personally visited old battlefields and studied the most mysterious and forbidden archives containing chronicles of the ancient war, sometimes risking my life in the process. I saw a fallen Sky City in the Shory Empire with my own eyes. I ripped out the control crystal from an extermination class combat golem that guarded a laboratory with my own hands. These fingers held the glass of the flask that servants of the Pharaoh Forgotten Plagues used to create, the first generation of pestilence about the devastation of the Gista Imperium. Do I know so much? I saw and touched everything I'm telling you. Alright, I'm gonna say, you're wrong to treat the Crusaders with such disdain. Allow me to explain. A debate. Oh, I will happy to provide the current conflict can't hold a candle to the last war. Gista. Very well. The last war was waged under a significant great number of troops. Both sides actively relied on reinforcements from allied planes, and their strategic planning was perfected through no fewer than 7 rounds of intensive design. None of the above apply to the war of yours. Compared to Gista, we are but a stone club wielding kobolds. I would like to conclude my thesis with a few words of wise counsel from Dagon, an advisor of Pharaoh Forgotten Plague. I doubt you will comprehend the true genius of this statement, but here it is nonetheless. A gadfly sees the ox pays no heed to the gadfly, but crimson fever takes them both. Okay, I'm probably not going to pass this one. Let's try diplomacy. The pence of the past shroud in legend, but the fate of the world is being decided here and now. This is what you failed to grasp. And I failed it, said he, standing in the middle of the dingy tavern. Indira graciously accepts chuckling of her audience. One mustn't overestimate the importance of current events for world history. Should Canabras fall, it will become yet another page in the chronicles of the world-wound conflict. Should it endure, it will fortune to earn any mention at all. The monk with the black eyes stifles and looks like he wants to say something, but ultimately holds back. I'm going to point at him and say, I think he has something to add. The halfling perks up, takes a deep breath, and bellows, oh, enough. I was patient with you, so-called expert, but I've got something to say. Firstly, screw you for disrespecting us and what we are doing because of some dusty old book. Secondly, I heard tales about the epic war of old, and next, Tyan, Zia, and elsewhere. And each time they claimed it was a slaughter no future war could hold a candle to. So to say the old farts whilst honest soldiers like us get ready for the next battle, because we need to go out there and fight. So later we can say our war was more legendary of all the young whippersnappers who won't be nearly as good as we are. Thirdly, you claim to know the war, but do you really? You can wag your tongue, but can you actually fight? Or you listen to an empty chatterbox that reads a few books but hasn't even been in a brawl. You can enter a barbershop and run into a dozen such experts. Show us what you're worth so we can be sure there's something to respect. The halfling starts viciously rolling up his sleeves. I wonder if he's going to get in a fight here. Indira, slightly taken aback, looks at the monk with obvious displeasure. Hold on. Can I get an angle at this? No. But I think he's this guy. I'm not going to compete with you in brutishness. Look for another pugilist if you wish to have the symmetry of your face restored. The warrior woman raises her chin and coldly gazes at the crowd of the crusaders cheering and whooping for the monk. Looks like holding a scholarly debate in a godforsaken tavern was a mistake. I'm not sure you would have been able to expound on your argument in a longer discussion. Indra nods with obvious relief. I'm glad we both understand the limitations. It's always a pleasure to face a worthy opponent, even if the debate takes place in a grimy tavern. Perhaps especially because of that. What? This is a worthless blade. It will be of use to no one, not only for the strong, but also for the wise. This is a worthy blade. I thought you said worthless. My bad. Indra unbuckles her sword belt and hands you the weapon. Claw of Jixta. And this is where I bid you farewell. Before the end of the day, I was planning on to observe how winged demons use pack tactics to drive the prey like herds of livestock. It's about time I got back to my research. The hint of a smile graces Indira's lips when she sees disappointment in the eyes of many crusaders around her. Stay safe. The monk nudges you with an elbow, his friendly jab perhaps harder than intended due to his enthusiasm. Yet another egghead full of theory but nonsense. To understand war, you need to live it, take part in it, not gawk at it from a library. The monk takes off a pair of plated gauntlets and hands them to you. Wow, people are just like showering me with stuff. If you ever see that chatterbox slinging muck at the Crusaders again, use these to smack her across the face and tell her I said hi. Power fist the gauntlets of punching. Dang. It's a short sword. Do you use a short sword? Which sword do you use? You're using the long one. You use a rapier. I'm gonna give this to you. 313. Piercing. Oh, and it does fire damage? Cannot be equipped by this character. Can you equip it? Yeah. It's dope. Oh man, we lost our character that could probably wear these. Here, this is your melee weapon. Nope, you can't wear it. What did you just say? Oh, these are for natural weapons. That's dumb. Why would I give that to her? Okay. Does she have anything to say? We'll go into her stuff later too, but I don't want to spend all the time like talking to all my dudes. Healer, a tall, athletic man greets you. His hair is prematurely gray and shorn close to his head in military style. He's this is so much reading. He's lean and well groomed, and a monocle twinkles coldly in his eye. The bold set of his jaw and his large but agile frame attest that here is the man who is ready to be on the move. Greetings, I am Hilor, venture captain of the Pathfinder Society. Please tell me you want to join my party. Because I don't want to be walking around with a party of 6 at this difficulty, or 4, when I should have a party of 6. I'm the superior officer among the Pathfinders in the region of Mendev. However, the Society is running almost no operations here now. Besides me, there are almost no Pathfinders here. Actually, I'm only stuck here because of an old feud with a demon worshipper known as the Spinner of Nightmares. I've had to work alone without the support of the Society, but I've made a lot of acquaintances among the local mercenaries and daring fighters. If you need any good fighters for an honest cause, talk to me. Tell me about the confrontation with the Spinner of Nightmares. It all began with the task of the Pathfinder Society. I arrived in Norrison with a team to investigate the sudden death of a famous crusader, Baron Falron, who soon focused in on a small hospital for the wealthy, where Falron was being treated shortly before his death. It turned out that a gang of Baphomet cultists calling themselves the Labyrinth of Mind had gotten a foothold at the hospital. They are obsessed with the twisting of the mind of their victims and targeting fragile people to resist. The hospital was filled with perfect victims isolated for weeks from the outside world, completely helpless. And when they returned, they were different, almost normal. But the moment they heard a certain phrase, something dark awoke in their minds, and they transformed into the servants of Baphomet. Is it Baphomet or Bahamut? I feel like it's Bahamut, and it's like a silent P. We're just gonna go Bahamut, because I'm pretty sure it's Bahamut. Ready to lie, betray, and even kill. The Labyrinth of the Mind was preparing to infiltrate all circles in the Mendev, but Baron Falron stopped them. But why would the P be I don't know. English is a weird language. He was too loyal to his oath and too resistant to their spell. He found for this freedom until the strain broke his heart. We opened and cleaned the city of Bahamut's pit of vipers. Their den was a cradle of sin. I thought that's probably how you spell Bahamut. Their den was a cradle of sin and filth. They cast spells on each other, and their loathsome fantasies stepped real from the minds into the world. They dreamt of horrible and forbidden things, and they fought like mad. We burned the place to the ground and slaughtered everyone we could, but the leader of the cults were able to flee, and they were set upon revenge. They abducted my daughter, Lori, who served under my command in the Pathfinder Society. They left me a note full of tart insult and mockery and sneers. From the note, I learned the name of my enemies, the Spinner of Nightmares. A few months later, I confirmed that she was the leader of the Labyrinth of the Mind. My hunt has begun. get loyalty at any cost. I need brave and experienced fighters. You rely on my lads. But you'll have to pay them. 4,500 is their standing rate. I don't have that kind of money right now. I'm sorry, but the society has established universal rate to avoid competition between Pathfinders of different countries. Alright. I want to know more about you. What exactly are you interested in? I'm a common Pathfinder. There are many others like me. Fate and my order brought me to this land. I don't need this. We already know how you ended up here. Okay. I have to go. Good luck. Watch your back. Only trust your closest friends. The enemy is cunning and treacherous. Okay, so when I desperately need more party members, I'll come back to him. Okay. So all of this was to get here. There is a tiefling chained up in the defender's heart. What can you tell me about him? Irabeth shrugs scornfully. Wolfjif is a pretty petty thief from a gang of thieflings operating in Cannabis. That's what we call them in these parts. They tried to rob a vendor of magical items recently. Unfortunately, we apprehended one of them, and the rest managed to escape. We have nowhere else to keep him apart from the defender's heart, but that's hardly a prison. Wolfjif knows it too. He's been begging us for days to let him free or have someone vouch for him. He's already asked you to put in a good word for him, hasn't he? Irabeth squints at you thoughtfully, then shrugs. If you want to recruit Wolfjif and put him to good use, go ahead and take him off guard's hands. We can ill afford to let a soldier spend their day watching over a middling thief. I hope the tiefling proves useful should you decide to take him. I have to go. Go. May Evening keep you safe. Okay. Fantastic. That was a lot easier than I thought it would be to get this dude. Okay. Where is the basement? Let's pass the loot. Is there anybody else? Dude, I wonder if we can take the elf with us. Or the dwarf. Let's go talk to the dwarf. I didn't notice he was here. There's so many people in here that, like, I feel like I keep missing people. Like, who's this Kyoto guy? Okay. What's up? The dwarf resembles an abandoned citadel, one whose high crumbling walls are still holding fast, but whose empty lightless windows make it clear that all inside is dead. So I figured he might be someone that I could recruit because he has a picture. Oh, it's you. Good work back there. So we'll see if I can actually recruit them. Back there in the garrison, named Staunton Vane. If you've heard rumors about me, his face, which looks like it has never known anything as carefree as a smile, grimaces. Just so you know, everything people say about me is true. I need to talk to the elf who calls himself a storyteller. Do you know where I can find him? Storyteller, Strange fellow, old fellow, that one. He used to sit with me for hours asking about all sorts of things. He's never offered judgment or comfort. He just listened. At first I wanted him and his questions as far away from me as possible, but later I realized that talking to him did ease my burden a little. I hope he's alive and well. He's completely blind and feeble too, so if he's alone in the city, well, you probably know what that means. I do know one place he might be. Look for him in Blackwing. I don't think I can recruit them. It's a library here. I'll show you where it is on the map. I don't know what use a library is to a blind elf, but he loved the place. He would sit there day and night. What do people say about you? They say I'm a traitor, as bad as Earl Vorlith, that I'm a disgrace, even among the ranks of the condemned. The Queen Galfrey should never have spared me, that I belong in the gallows. Why do they hate you so much? You really don't know? Son gives you a long, morose look, then sighs. I'm the reason why the Crusades' forces are held up in the fortress on the edge of the world wound. Instead of bringing the fight to the demons, we used to have a foothold in the wound. The mighty, unassailable city of Dresden. We used to have it until it fell, and all because of my stupidity. I gave the enemy our main citadel. Ah, because of the eyeless woman. Spit in his face. I was tried. They wanted to execute me, and rightfully so, but the queen intervened. She said that I should live and fight in order to undo what I have done. So that's how I live. Decade after decade, fighting in the condemned. The dwarf shrugs. As you can see, I've fixed nothing. I have earned no one's forgiveness. Are you going to spit in my face? I wouldn't be surprised. I say, you keep living and fighting with no hope of anything better because that's what the queen ordered you to do? There is honor in that. I mean, we'll go lawful. You might be right, but you know, even stone and iron get worn down from over time. I know what it means to live a regimented life, but I cannot rely on my discipline alone forever. I pray to Torog, though he does not listen, that my body breaks before my conscience does. A whole city fell because of you. How is that possible? What do you mean, how? The knight glares at you from beneath his furrowed brow. If you can trust the word of condemned, go ask someone else. Like my little brother and Joran. If you still don't believe me, believe it. What's it for me? But if you're about to ask me to recount the story of my disgrace for 1,000th time, don't. So you really don't have friends? I couldn't have survived this long if I was completely alone. Joran, my little brother, he keeps me going. He's never abandoned me. Everyone else shies away from me like they might catch what I've got. Even fighters in the condemned consuls themselves be thinking, I got stripped of my rank, but at least I'm not Staunton. So many years in the condemned, surely you've paid your penance now. Okay. Command Tyrebate seems to be the only person in the whole army who remembers that I'm a soldier and not a drudge. She has no qualms about taking me into battle. She has some mud flung at her in the past, or so I hear. That's why she tries to keep an open mind about people. It's no surprise that she's the only one to hold on to her senses of reason, the farce. So many years in condemned, surely you've paid your penance by now. That's not up to me to decide. My life's in the queen's hands. Dang it, I don't think we get to recruit him. Well, at least not right now. He falls silent for a moment, and then, in a trembling voice, he adds, the condemned isn't the worst part. All these years I've prayed to Torog for forgiveness. Countless times I've gone to the priests. Countless times I've kneeled before his altar. If only the father of the dwarven kind would answer my prayers just once. Not to restore what I've lost, but just to tell me that I'm still one of his children. But it seems he doesn't give a damn about me. What can I expect from a mere mortal when my own god doesn't think I deserve redemption? Okay, I have to go. Go on then. We'll see each other again. Okay, so I need to find his little brother, I guess. He doesn't seem to be here. Okay. So I'm pretty sure I've combed most of this area.
Well, Chief, what do you got for me?
I've talked to Erebeth. I've decided to make you part of my troop. We'll see how it goes.
You must be a smooth talker. Come on, Delvin. Get these bracelets of yours off me. I'm going free.
You're sure to regret this. This tiefling will fleece you for everything you've got. Mark my words.
Then I will execute him.
You're a bitter little man, Delvin. Petty and mean. You can't even be happy for me, can you? I pity you. I'll leave you alone with your sad little soul. So long. And now, Chief, straight down to business. You see, I'm one of those guys that people around here call thieflings. We just call ourselves the family. After we knocked over that shop and I got stuck here in the Defender's Heart, a little bird told me that big sister Charisme wanted to see me. That she had some questions to ask me. You following?
Not really.
Now, she won't be asking me questions like, Woljif, how'd you manage to get out of this one? Or, Woljif, you're so thin, didn't they feed you? No, something serious has gone down, and I just know they want to try to pin something on me. I can feel it in my tail. So I knew right away that I couldn't go alone. You turned up just in time, Chief. You don't need to do anything when we get there. Just stand behind me and look mean, and I'll handle the rest. Somehow. Let's go. I'll show you the way.
A den of thieves. I could get justice. Okay. We have a lot to do. Hold up. Okay. Let's go out. This way. Isn't this the way we came in? It's light. I can carry that. Okay. So he is a rogue. Eldritch Scoundrel. Student Arcane. Spellbook. Burning Hands. Color Spray. Oh, he's like a magical rogue. Interesting. Okay, so hold on. Wow. Okay, so we have to do everything with timers on it. Okay, so this is for the city. Okay, we don't want to show completed quests. Don't do that. Okay, that just confuses me. Okay. Where do we want to start? Let's start with this guy's story, because I'm kind of interested. Let's start here. Head of the thieving gang in Cannabis wants to talk to Wolfja, suspects that something shifty is afoot. Wolfja categorically refuses to go to the meeting alone. I hope they give me like a good idea when I'm about to leave the chapter. Okay, so the current party and then companion. Steadily and cunning huntress from the mongrel tribe left her home to travel the surface. We already know this. Okay. Okay, this makes this easy. This is the global map of the city, Cannabis. Moving the visible part of the map using W, A, and D, and travel to the location you have discovered by hovering the mouse over the mouse cursor over them and click left mouse button. Some locations might not be available for travel for various reasons. As you explore the map and progress through the game, you will discover new locations and routes. While traveling between locations, you may be attacked by enemies. Dope. So make sure you get enough rest and don't let them take you by surprise. Alright. I see. Wow, this is cool. Look at all the stuff I have so far. I just left the tavern too. I spent like almost 2 hours in the tavern. That's ridiculous. That's awesome though. That's like what CRPGs should be like. Wait. I thought I had him in my party. Let's try this again. We're gonna leave. Okay. I'm pretty sure I did that last time. I don't know why he didn't come in my party. Whatever. Whatever. He's in there now. All right. Tiefling hideout. Let's go. Yes. Let's enter the location. Save scum.